Woo! In there. I see you. There you go.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mac Mason, and I'm back at it again with another video. I hope you guys are treating every day like a holiday and every meal like a feast, and just living life and just being feeling good. But as you guys already know, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the Dark World deck. So this is actually the one that I run without the synchros, without the exes and all that stuff. So I'm just showing you the basic deck and my extra deck right now. Eventually I'll show you guys my virtual version, which is probably, it's better. So we're just gonna play with it just so you guys see what I run, like a little bit in real life, you know, just have a good time, all that stuff. So we're gonna start off with the spell cards today and see where we get with that. So as you guys know, as always, you want to have 3 the gates of the Dark World. They're necessity. I've seen some Dark World cards run outside of their archetype. You can definitely do it. I F with the Gates of Dark World heavy, just plain and simple. I love that card. That's not gonna change. Then I'm also running 2 drag down to the grave, drag down into the grave. I said to the grave, drag down into the grave, because I was running 3. My issue was that I was pulling. How do I explain? I was pulling too many of them. Like I would have 2 or 3 in my hand at once, and nothing to discard. I didn't have any Dark World monsters or any cards that I could discard to actually do something. I have. Oh, my bad. Actually, I do have the 3rd one in here, but this is just filler. I think this deck's at 43, so it's something I could definitely take out. It's not necessarily a necessity. Actually, I think it might be at 44 because I was making some adjustments for my friend's cubic deck, which just absolutely gave me an aneurysm. But we're not gonna go there. Next up, 3 Dark World Dealings. Kind of an expensive card, but it's worth. Each player gets to draw a card. Each player discards 1 card. It's great, perfect, great card to have. Lightning Vortex, simple card. Just discard 1 card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent control, plain and simple. Twin Twisters, discard 1 card, destroy up to 2 spell and trap cards on the field. Luckily, it says up to, so you don't have to worry about there being specifically 2. You could just do it like that. 2 Dark World Lightnings, discard 1 to destroy 1 set card on the field. That includes monsters as well if they're set on the field, as well as spell and trap cards. So it's really hard to use Dark World Lightning on spell and trap cards because in the spell and trap card zone. So if I activate it and I'm like, hey, I want to destroy your back row, and they just activate the trap, you're basically screwed. So you honestly have a 50-50 chance either they activate it or you destroy it. If you don't destroy it, you can't discard. It's target 1 set card on the field, then destroy it, and if you do, discard 1 card. And then finally, for my spell cards, I have Pot of Acquisitiveness, which is actually not a word. I don't know why I wanted to say that, but acquisitive is, but acquisitiveness is not a word. It's worth a Google. You should Google it. I think I'm right about this. Basically, target 3 banished monsters, shuffle all 3 into the deck, then draw 1 card. You can only activate once per turn. Plain and simple. Obviously, this deck does a lot of banishing of your own cards of its own volition, so it's important to bring those cards back into the deck, and then you get a chance to shuffle and draw another card. Say I got 3 snows in my banish zone, throw those back into the deck, draw my new card, boom, I pull up another snow, I can do whatever I want. Next up, trap cards. I got a lot of fun trap cards in this deck, I'm not gonna lie. Like I love the trap cards in this deck. Stock it out to armor, plain and simple. Everybody knows that card. I actually just recently put this one in here, Hollowed Life Barrier. It's like a new edition. Discard 1 card during 1 card from your hand during this turn. Any damage you take from your opponent becomes 0. So it's kind of like Waboku, but you get to discard a card, which is really good for the Dark World deck in general. A compulsory evacuation device. This was just because I was having a lot of trouble with my friends, like I said, the cubic cards, you know, the big 3000 beater that just beats my dick off and makes me cry and want to go home and tell my mom that I just lost $30 playing my friend. Next up is Deck Devastation Virus. I run just one of these. This one is tribute one dark monster with 2,000 or more attack. Check your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the end of their third turn after this card's activation, and destroy all those monsters with 1,500 or less attack. Now, this is a really good card for a deck that requires a lot of tributing. So it's a good card to run. I guess maybe you could run it against a Monarch deck. I mean, it really wouldn't affect it too much, but enough. Or for instance, if you're running, I guess the guy you're playing is running like a synchro deck. Obviously, there's a lot of monsters under 1,500, and they kind of need those tuners and stuff like that. So next up is Solemn Warning. Plain and simple. Solemn Warning, very good card to have. Now, I actually haven't perused the new ban list, and I really need to, but I've heard a lot of different things, and probably after this video I will actually read it and make some adjustments to my deck, so you guys can be expecting some more adjustments. I just heard that, you know, Bottomless Trap holds up to 3 now? Question marks? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. But actually, what's up next is Bottomless Trap Hole. Just one Uno Mas. I say Uno Mas. Just Uno. Just Uno Negro. Next up, Mirror Force. Just a good stall card, just in case I get in a little bit of trouble and I'm not able to wipe out their field on time. Next up is Dark Deal. It's a very specific card. It's not necessarily something that I get to activate too often, just because I only have one in my deck, first off. But second off, not too many people just use regular spell cards anymore. And I don't know, I just feel like unless you're playing against another Dark World deck, this card's perfect. For those of you that don't know what it is, you can only activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. When your opponent activates a normal spell card, it has to be a normal spell card. No quick spell, no continuous, it has to be normal. The effect of the normal spell card that your opponent activated at that time becomes your opponent discards one random card from their hand, which is a good card to have, especially if you have all Dark World monsters in your hand. Sure, I'd love that. I'd love that card. And then you get to activate their second effect, like for instance, like Grapha, or you can activate Latinum's second effect, Lucian. Those are just some of the ones. Another card I really love a lot in regards to trap cards is Dark Smog. Dark Smog's a great card to have in your deck, just in general when it comes to the Dark World. Once per turn, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, discard one fiend type monster, and if you do, banish that target. So you get to banish the original target, and you get to discard one of your fiend types, and you get to, like, obviously, since it's a Dark World, you get to either special summon or activate their effects because they were discarded. Next up, Black Horn of Heaven. I run one of these just to piss people off, and plus I need like a little bit of time to stall a little bit. Sometimes, you know, you're not always gonna get the perfect draw, so it's good to have a decent amount of trap cards. And now we're on to the last one, and this is my creme de la creme, my baby girl, my boo thing, my honey, my sugar pie, honey bun, sugar pie, honey bun. You know that I love you. Love you. So, it is Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I don't know what I'd do without this card. So, in the last ban list, you were only allowed to have one of these. It's been like this for a while, and it was just such a good card. Plain and simple. It's great. It's a great card. I mean, tribute one dark monster with 2,500 or more attack. For instance, your most viable option is going to be Grapha. Grapha has 2,700. It's a beater. With Gates of Dark World on the field, it's at 3k. I can activate EEV, Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I can't even say it. I can't say that fast. This card, you can activate this trap card. You can activate this trap card and send Grapha to the graveyard, who you can special summon again the next turn, or during the same turn, and declare one card type. It can be spell or trap. Check your opponent's hand, all spell and trap cards they control, and all cards they draw until the end of the third turn of this card's activation, and destroy all cards of that type. Boom. Plain and simple. Eradicator Epidemic Virus is the one. That's the Bombay. That's the Bombay. But up next, we're moving on to monsters. I got a lot of different monsters in here that I guess you wouldn't necessarily see a lot of people run. I think I'm gonna do those last. I'm just gonna show you guys the Dark World stuff first, and then I'll show you the outside Dark World archetype cards and stuff that you guys can see and stuff. First off, 3 Graphas, plain and simple. This is Grapha, Dragon Lord of the Dark World. Great card, plain and simple. It's a beater, 2700. With Gates of the Dark World up on the field, it's at 3k. Whenever you discard this card, you can destroy 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. And if you have a Dark World monster on the field, you can add that Dark World monster back to your hand and special summon Grapha into the field. So you get to activate whatever that card's ability is again, and just keep doing it over and over again with the amount of cards that you keep doing. So it's just like one of the cards that can add on to this energy of the deck for sure. And just be awesome. 1 Brow. He's just a draw engine card. He's not necessarily a necessity, but he's a dope card to have. Just at least 1, and you want to have as many Dark Will cards as you can, just because you want to get Graph out on the field. You don't want to have too many cards outside of the archetype. It just makes it difficult to run. 1 Beige. You just need something just to summon, or need something to trigger Grapha's effect. You can definitely do it. 3 Snow. Now Snow makes this deck. This is Snow, Unlight of the Dark World. He makes this deck so easy to use. So easy. I run 3 of these bad boys or bad girl. I never figured out, because he's a dude, I think, wearing a dress, but he got breasts. That's what kind of confused me. So I guess I don't really know how I can show y'all that, but he got breasts for some odd reason. Basically, you discard him. You can add any card with Dark World in its name to your hand, which is really sick. I mean, it can be one of your spell cards. It can be one of your trap cards. Well, there's not too many trap cards that have Dark World in their title in the deck that I have, at least. But so you could be a spell, or it could be a monster that you definitely need, and you can run that. 1 Brawn, just in case you can't draw any spell or trap cards that allow you to discard cards. You could use a Brawn. When he attacks and deals damage directly to your opponent, you can discard, any type of battle damage, doesn't have to be direct attack. You can discard one card. So for instance, I'm going to say I discard, I don't know, Grapha. I got Grapha in my hand. Discard Grapha. Grapha's in the graveyard. I also get to destroy 1 card on my opponent's side of the field. Then switch to my main phase 2. Bring Brawn back to my hand. Special summon Grapha. Plain and simple. It's a really easy move. Now you have a 27 beater out on the field like it was nothing, and you took out something on your opponent's side of the field. It's really easy and really easy to use. I use Latinum. He's just something to fill the deck with as well. It's not necessarily the best card. He has solid defense, but his attack's 1500. With Gates of Dark World up on the field, you're looking at 1800. It's cool. It's not the best thing in the world, but I mean, you could definitely run it. 2 Sylvas. Sylva's a good filler. Discard, special summon him. Plain and simple. Very good card. It's 2300. With Gates of Dark World on the field, we're looking at 2600. Next up is Gold Woolord. Love this card. Gold Woolord of the Dark World, or of Dark World. My goodness, these names are crazy. Another 2300 beater. It just special summon him whenever you discard him. Really decent card to have. Lucent, same thing, but 2400 beater. With Gates on the field, he's at 27, although he does have 0 defense, so that's the only reason why I run 1 of him, in case I get into some trouble. You don't want like a tuner killing your 2700 beater on the field, because your opponent has something like, I don't know, Book of Moon. Something along those lines. Moving on, we talk about outside the archetype monsters that I run. 3 Fabled Raven. I mean, this card is great, and it works great when I have my synchro deck up too, because it's a tuner, and every time you discard a card, it gains attack and it gains a level. So if you have, I don't know, let's say Wu, who's at level 1, 2. He's at 5. So Wu's at 5. And Raven's at 2. Obviously, you need to either discard some cards or not. Say you want to bring out a level 10 Synchro, not a problem. Just discard 3 cards, and this card's level 5, and it gains 400 attack for each one. So you can do your damage, then Synchro into Synchro main phase 2. So Fabled Raven's a really good card to have, especially, you know, if you want to make this deck playable in the meta, you can definitely do so. So 3 Fabled Ravens. Obviously, you can definitely go with the Trance Archfiend, which I have in my extra deck, or my side deck, which I'll show you guys in a minute here. Next up is Dark Necrofear. I run this card just for funsies and for nostalgic reasons, but it's a really good card to run in the deck as well. You can special summon it by banishing 3 of the monsters in your graveyard. If you're having trouble keeping monsters on the field because your opponent has like some giant beater on the field that you can't destroy, like, I don't know, maybe Blue Eyes Ultimate White Dragon or something like that, something stupid. 4,500 Graphas, you've put all 3 of your Graphas in the graveyard and you're screwed. You can definitely summon this card. So during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed by an opponent's card this turn by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard while it was a monster card under your control, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to that target. While this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, take control of that monster. So that beater is now yours. So you get to steal your opponent's beater, which is really cool. It's a great card. Next up, we have Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Now, it's not a dark type, but it is a fiend type. The fiend type means that it can be affected by Gates of the Dark World, which means it gains a 300 attack. So it's a 1700 beater instead of a 1400. So it's a pretty decent card to have in your deck. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty solid. But besides that, it actually has some really cool effects. So fiend type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, while Fiendish Rhino Warrior is up on the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 fiend type monster from your deck to the graveyard. Except Fiendish Rhino Warrior. You can only use this effect once per turn. So for instance, they destroy your Fiendish Rhino Warrior. So he's in the garbage. He's in the garbage can. He's in the graveyard, and you can now throw Grapha into your graveyard, and you can special summon Grapha. No problem. Boom, boom, pow. Keep it pushing. And then finally, my last 2 cards in the main deck is Darkness Necro Neosphere. Darkness Neosphere. These names, they get me every time in this deck. Darkness Neosphere. I love this card. I love this card so much. I love it. 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 All right, let me explain why I love it. So this card can actually only be summoned when your opponent declares an attack on one of your monsters. Now, so long as that monster is a fiend type, you can summon this monster as if it were a quick effect. And you summon, and you can tribute that monster that your opponent's attacking, tribute it, boom, and then discard one of your cards. So that means you also can special summon on your opponent's turn twice. So you summon him. He has 4,000 attack and 4,000 defense. With Gates of the Dark World up on the field, he has 43. He is a monster. A monster. Monster. He destroys booty holes all across the world, all across the deck archetype, and all across the meta. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now we're going to get into side decking. I guess I will start off with these spell cards as well and do the same order. Run a Soul Release. Target up to 5 cards in any graveyard and banish them. Reason why I have that one is because I have Soul Absorption as well. Continuous card that you gain 500 life points for each banished card at all. Any type of banished card. Terraforming, plain and simple, for Gates of the Dark World. Dark Core, good discard card. You get to remove from play a face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field. Now, moving on to the trap cards. I just picked these up, actually. Dark Light, good card to have. tribute 1 dark monster with 1500 attack, 1500 more attack. Destroy all monsters that were special summoned this turn, which is pretty cool. Like Grapha, you're having an issue, your opponent, I don't know, maybe fusion summons something crazy or synchro summons something crazy, activate the trap card and just screw them. Dark Scheme. This card's good to have, but it does have a downside. Your opponent can discard 1 card to negate this card's effect. Otherwise, both players discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards. So your opponent can, what the hell? Your opponent can, by Xbox just randomly turn on. That was crazy. So your opponent can just go ahead and discard 1 card, so you're making them discard. Or if they choose not to, you get to discard 2 cards. And they have to discard 2 cards, and then each of us draw 2 cards. When we do that, obviously you can activate some of your Dark World stuff, but what if you only have, I don't know, 1 Dark World monster in your hand? Could be a problem. I guess if you have a Fiendish Rhino Warrior in your hand, I guess it wouldn't be so bad. So you could definitely do that. Next up is Hate Buster. I like this card. It's just not one that I run in the main deck. When a Fiend type monster you control is targeted for an attack, target the opponent's attacking monster and that monster you control, destroy both targets, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the opponent's destroyed monster. So Hate Buster is a cool card to have. I originally actually had this in my Monarch deck. I exchanged it for a more useful card, just because there's not that many Fiend types in that deck. You know, if you guys have seen my my Monarch deck in the previous video, there's not that many Fiend types. And this is the last one for the trap cards. We have Destruction Jammer. One of the cards I also just picked up. I got a rare for $1.70, so I was pretty excited about that. Discard 1 card, negate the activation of a spell card, trap card, or effect monster's effect that destroys a monster on the field, and destroy that card. So it's a pretty decent card to have in the deck. Now moving on to monsters, I just have 2. Card Trooper, it's not that great. Sure, I get to mill, but it's whatever. Trans Archfiend, this is what I was talking about previously. Does a similar thing to Fabled Raven, but Fabled Raven can do multiple, and this card can only do 1. For instance, say you have like 2 Snows, a Grapha, and Gold in your hand. You could get rid of all those, discard them, and activate all of their abilities, and then you have like this huge. Then you can go in your deck, grab a Gates of the Dark World, and grab a Dark World Lightning or Dark World Dealings, so you can discard your gold 1 more time after you special summon Grapha by adding gold back to your hand. Now you have Gates on the field, which means you have a 2600 beater, and you have a 3000 beater on the field, and it's Liddy Bo Titty. But that's all for this video, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what's going on. What do you guys think? What else you guys run? Any tips? Whatever you guys want to throw down in the comments, please assist. As well as check out my section down below the video. Sorry, you can't see that hand. My section below the video, as I do have some merchant gear for Knights and Dragons and stuff like that, so you guys can get that gear. Actually, I was wearing this shirt the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna record a video, and I'm gonna do it, and you can't stop me. But I didn't. I ended up having way too much homework. But alright, guys, thanks so much. I'm out. Deuces, Mac. Brah!